When I was little, my father was famous. He was the greatest samurai in the empire. He cut off the heads of 131 lords.
Hey everybody, Jerry Williams, aka Greater Sapien here. Thanks for stopping by. Many of you have asked whether or not I will be involved in the final experiment. So let's discuss it. The short answer is no, I was not invited. And if I were invited, it's not something that's on my agenda right now. It's something I would love to do before I kick the bucket, but if I do so, I will do so on my own schedule and with my family. That's the kind of thing that I can't just go solo on. Now, the final experiment, as you know, is a trip being organized by a gentleman named Will Duffy, and he runs the Final Experiment YouTube channel. This is a 5-day trip that will take place at nearly 80 degrees south in Antarctica, providing the participants the opportunity to experience the phenomenon of the 24-hour sun. The travel and accommodations are being run by Antarctic Logistics and Expeditions, a company that's been doing these trips for years. Invitations were sent to numerous people on both the globe proponent and globe denying sides, and all expenses paid slots were offered to one individual for each side. Now, as far as I know, as of now, only Dave McKeegan is known to have accepted his all expenses paid invitation for the globe side. And I believe they are having a hard time getting anyone to sign on, definitely, for the globe denying crowd. And I can see why. Globe deniers have parroted the same mantra about Antarctica for years. It's a no-fly zone. No one is allowed there. It's a circular ice wall surrounding the flat Earth, beyond which exists the circular South Pole of the ring magnet of the Earth, and there's no 24-hour sun experience as there is in the Arctic Circle. So I don't blame them. They're afraid if they go and see the 24-hour sun, they won't be able to hold the line on a flat Earth. They've put too much emphasis on Antarctica. They've put it in the position of flat Earth killer. I see 3 scenarios for the globe denying crowd here. 1, they're hoping something happens to cause it to be canceled. That's their best case scenario. Whether it's a natural disaster in Punta Arenas that makes it cancel, or it turns out the organizer is a fraud, like the one that walked off with the pole-to-pole funds that I raised back in 2018. Wow, 2018. Was it really 6 years ago? 2, absolutely 0 representatives of the globe denying crowd go on this trip. This would allow them to blanket accuse all of those involved of falsifying the information. None of us were there. It's all rigged. You never went. It's all fake. Okay, well, I guess there are 4, because 3, any globe denier that goes is universally ostracized and identified as a paid shill, a plant in the community not to be trusted. That's one they could do. And 4, which is my favorite scenario, by the way, between now and the conclusion of the final experiment, they come up with an ad hoc theory as to how a 24-hour sun could be possible in a flat Earth framework. There doesn't have to be evidence for it, and there never will be. There doesn't have to be examples of it in nature. Ring magnets are man-made, but that doesn't stop them from claiming them for the Earth's magnetic poles. It just has to be something that they can articulate. Maybe some combination of the laws of perspective, which is standard fare, and atmospheric lensing, which is a classic. Oh, and maybe, I literally just thought this, so there was a long pause there. Maybe some type of electromagnetic lensing of the sun's rays due to the close proximity to the southern magnetic ring, right? The southern magnetic ring is causing the sun's light to be refracted in such a way as to appear above the horizon for 24 hours a day. See, the goal will be to keep the flat Earth claim going. And if the only way to do that is to concede to a 24-hour sun because a globe denier, say globe denier they can't discredit goes on this trip, they need to show their scientific bona fides and adapt to the new, to them, the new observation. And honestly, I don't mean to give flat earthers any pointers on their grift, but if I were a prominent flat earther, I would take that all expenses paid slot and I would spend the next 5 months workshopping a theory to integrate the fact that I know is coming my way, present a hypothesis before going on the trip, and then declare that I was going on this trip in order to collect data, in order to discredit or verify my own theory. I would then declare my theory verified and then stand tall at the top of the flat earth influencer hierarchy. Right? Damn, come on, that is brilliant. Okay, now I mentioned earlier that as of this moment, only one person has declared that they are going on this trip. But I do know of one other person who would like to go on this trip, would have to pay his own way. And that would be the YouTuber who goes by Critical Think. Critical Think doesn't have a large subscriber base, but he has a solid number of flat earth debunking videos under his belt, and they are always quite accurate in their targeting of the flawed flat earth arguments. Critical Think traveled with me on the Antarctic flyover I did back in 2019. He captured the southern celestial pole footage with me in Perth, and I found him to be very organized and deliberate in his pre-planning and execution of his observations. Critical Think has a GoFundMe going on right now in order to help in his purchase of what he needs to go on this exploration. The trip ticket itself and the flight to and from Punta Arenas in Chile, where the trip launches from. Critical Think will be putting in whatever of his own funds he needs, but any contribution from fellow science supporters would be great. Critical Think was a generous contributor to the disastrous pole-to-pole venture in 2018. So I am happy to contribute to what will be a great adventure for him personally, and I know what he brings out of it will be a great contribution to the conversation. Honestly, I wish I could go, but since it's not going to be me, I'm glad it could be him. The link to his GoFundMe is in the description and probably right over here. Anything you can contribute would be great. If it were me going and you would consider donating to me, donate to Critical Think. He's a good dude. He's not flashy, but he's solid and he gets the job done. All right, folks, that's it for me. I'll catch you later. Peace. Why is there so much time left on this video?
That's my job! That's what I do!
You know, some time ago I made very big and public mistakes. Blinded by hubris, I took a risk and it blew up straight in my face. I went to a dark place in my mind, but self-hate isn't my nature. So I dusted myself off and stepped right back up to the plate. Now I've moved on, haven't gotten forgiven by those I involved. So when these haters ask, I tell them none of your business, it's been resolved. Y'all don't care about the truth, because the truth's already been stated. And here's another truth, the truth of the matter is you ain't nothing but haters. You hate the way that I walk, the way that I talk. You hate the fact that I'm right, and you hate the fact that you know that I kick your ass in a fight. But most of all, you hate the fact that your flat earth don't make sense. Your science is weak, your mind is weaker. You walking around sounding stupid, talking about you being a truth seeker. How many more L's you gon' take before you figure out that your sight is lost? How many it gon' take before you figure out you can't beat the boss? But most of all, you hate the fact that your flat earth don't make sense. Your science is weak, your mind is weaker. You walking around sounding stupid, talking about you being a truth seeker. How many more L's you gon' take before you figure out that your sight is lost? How many it gon' take before you figure out you can't beat the boss? You try to act like you're smart and use the big words, but you sound dumb to me. You're squeaking like a little mouse, but I'm the big cat and this is fun to me.
Is there no one on this planet to even challenge me?
Maybe you came by to congratulate me on last night's victory.